Well, hello there. I did mention in my last video, or one of the comments, that I was planning on starting a little more with the web development basics. So this playlist is going to hopefully grow really quickly in the next couple of weeks. But let's get started with introducing a few things. So first of all, well, let's get started with where do you put your web pages? And there's a lot of options here. So there is a bunch of free online web hosting. So you can actually just Google free online web hosting. Now these usually come with like ads and stuff like that. Some of them are only free for a short period of time. One that is kind of used a little bit more by some students is this one right here. So you have to choose the right options. And I'll include this in a lot of other things in the link, well, in the description below. But right here, so if you follow through in the right way, in fact, I'm going to copy this and see if we can just do it while we're here. If you can follow through it in the right way, you'll get to their version of Cpanel that's been kind of stripped down. So we'll do free sign up, free web hosting. And you have to use something to log in. So I'm going to log in with my Google. Hopefully I haven't already set it up. So it's going to ask some questions. So let's, this is not my first rodeo. Take me to the panel. So right here, this is the link that hopefully most of you will want to follow. So take you to the panel, name your project. I'm just going to call this test. And it has a generated password. I will delete this once we are done. I'm not going to create a lot of web pages for this. I'm going to introduce you to other ways. Oh, there's an already thing with this. So sample test website learning. If there's something with all that, it'll be interesting. So she said I will delete this once I'm done, or that password will go away, so I don't care if you see it. So so this will take us to Cpanel. Now Cpanel is very common and is used in a lot of different ways. I have a few videos on Cpanel. I'll link those below. I'll link other information below. So by the way, I think you just upload your site. And that's where it takes you to here. So this is a branded version of Cpanel. This is my public HTML, and I can edit, change things here. So Cpanel is an option that a lot of people use. Now, Cpanel is great if you're just going to host websites and not do much more. It's usually pretty cheap. This is what you'll get with all sorts of web hosting platforms, GoDaddy, and things like that. And I'll link some of these down below. It's common. If you're interested in information technology, it might not be the right thing for you. And I say that because it removes a lot of the learning. So another option is you could just spin up Apache and host it yourself. You're going to have to open your firewalls and stuff, open the router so that people could get to it, and you're going to have to deal with DNS issues. So there's always dynamic DNS. So that's another option. So I'll link to, I have a video here where I installed Apache and did TCP dump. I did it in AWS. So I'll link to that. It actually has the commands in here that did it automatically when I created the instance. So there's that option. If you're interested in using Amazon Web Services, that's an option. Amazon Web Services has free options for the first little bit, but you've got to be careful. Make sure that you enable multi-factor authentication. Hackers love to get access to your Amazon Web Services because then they can spin up instances and mine Bitcoin on your dollar. But another option in AWS web services. So this is in a learner lab. So if you are part of a university, you can use a learner lab. But I have this one takes you through the steps to do it with S3. So you don't even have to install Apache. You can just do with S3. So there's lots of different options here. So Cpanel, Apache, S3. There are other web servers out there other than Apache. Apache is super common. So I have videos on how to change it when it's in S3, how to navigate Cpanel, how to change things on Cpanel, and then of course there's this free site. So once you decide where you're going to host stuff, you really need to dig down and understand how that works. So that's something I'm not going to cover. There's so many different ways to host a web page out there. This is something you have to decide which one to do. And when it comes to once you have a place to host it, then you can really get started. Now you can do a little bit of stuff locally because you can just view a web page through your local browser that's on your own system. But it's really fun to be able to say, hey, look what I've created, and let other people look at it as well. So I think step one, find a web hosting provider or a web hosting platform that you can use to host your websites as you get started. So we've covered a couple today. What we haven't covered is things that are less flexible, like GitHub. Some people start on things like that, or WordPress. But this is learning kind of how to create a web page, and those remove some of that. So anyway, I hope this will be helpful to get started. You first need to find a place where you can host. So I'll link more information down below, and see you in the next video.